Pesito has a product called the ECOCA. Tell us about this ECOCA and how beneficial it is to the environment.
Thank you, Justine. Good evening, everyone. So the ECOCA really is ECOCA. It is a 100% solar electric cook stove. It runs on the energy of the sun. So we collect that energy using a solar panel. We transform that energy or the solar radiation into electricity. And we are able to help families cook 100% solar. No firewood, no charcoal, don't cut a tree. Just let the sun cook for you. And that can be for a lifetime. So we have produced a domestic e-cooking system that we call the ECOCA, and that helps families, but we also have solar electric cookers for schools and other institutions. This will help you and I to help every one of us to live longer, but also to save so much money on the biomass that we buy per month to cook. It's not just a solar cooking system, it's also a home solar system. It enables families to have light in their houses, but also charge small electric appliances. So it's a one-stop kitchen.
Thank you so much, Ruth. So in other words, once I get the e-cooker, thanks for that correction, by the way, no more bills. I don't have to pay any single bill. That's it. And I can use this for the next 20 years.
Yes, with just changing a battery every 6 to 8 years.
Wow.
Because it's a lithium iron phosphate battery, it will give you 10 years. But because you're using it to cook, it reduces its lifespan a lot faster. In 6 to 8 years, you change a battery and you're back to as good as new. So you will never see charcoal in your household.
Wow. And this is energy from the sun. It's amazing. And I guess my question is, how are you working with the youth? How are you working with ladies? I mean, I know we have a lady leading this, and it would be just good to hear the story as to how you're working with the youth to sell this and promote this very good story.
Thank you very much. So when we started our work in 2019 here in Uganda, we designed the ECOCA here in Uganda, but also in cooperation with Denmark. So we borrowed some Danish technology. They are far ahead of us in terms of solar and wind energy. And were able to design this e-cooker. The most interesting thing about us is we build it here in Lokopio, Yumbe district, using the youth. 100% of our employees are youth. I'm a youth myself. I'm not about to leave, I think in a few years. I have a few years to go, but we employ the youth, host communities, refugees. They build the e-cooker. They install the system, they maintain the system, they market the system. We have, yesterday, a woman called me and she had delivered 2 months ago and she said, I'm ready to come back to work. I said, rest. She said, no, I want to come back. So the youth are excited to lead the transition. They are earning money. They are owning the technology and helping their communities transform. Besides that, we are also raising a lot of revenue in the community. People now have a purchasing power. Because when you earn money, you can buy something. You can pay for your health, for your education, buy things at home. We have clean cooking champions that we call e-cooking champions. And these are cooking advisors. They go out in the communities and teach people to cook with their e-cooker. And they are well celebrated in their communities. Imagine coming from just the woman next door to a woman who uses a solar cooker. The UN visits them. People come from all over the world to see the very first solar electric cooker in the world. And it's amazing. So we've seen the youth transition, and all the way from Yumbe to the rest of the world. We are now present in over 8 countries in Africa, and we are very happy.
Assembled in Uganda, made in Uganda. That's wonderful to hear. And I guess my question would be, I mean, you're now coming from people who have been buying charcoal or firewood on a daily basis to not buying anything at all. It's so wonderful. It's too good to be true. So the question is, what is the barrier that is preventing adoption of this solution in the country, and how can we overcome it? And I guess this is a question to government, question to platforms such as this one, how we can overcome such a barrier.
Thank you. So in as much as we are saving time, because we are now able to cook, for instance, a kilo of beans in only 40 minutes, we have saved costs. Families that have been spending 5,000 shillings on average, that's a family of 5 to 7, UBOS standards, is now spending 400 shillings to cook, because you're spending 200 shillings to cook beans and the other 200 is split between your drinking water, posho, matoke, whatever you're cooking in the day. So an average of 400 shillings a day on your cooking. And I mean, the convenience of having a clean kitchen, you just pressed a button, left your food cooking, and it finished cooking. We have barriers. What are our barriers? Affordability. Not everyone can afford an ECOCA. The ECOCA, the very lowest tier, which is one battery and one panel, what the entire system looks like is one battery, one panel, 2 cooking pots, 3 lights, a cooking base, which is your generator, all these things. That cost on the lowest is 2.5 million Uganda shillings. The cost barrier is heavy for many Ugandan people. If I asked you if you can afford a cooker of 2.5 million shillings, you might say no. But guess what? By spending 5,000 shillings every day on biomass, you are spending 117 million shillings if you live to 65 and you purchased fuel of 5,000 a day. So that cost barrier is major. The second barrier we have is knowledge. Not many people here today knew about a solar electric cooker. Anyone who knew about a solar electric cooker? No. It's a big issue that people don't know. So it is spaces like this that help us voice the solutions that we have to save our environment, but also save our money and time and health. The other issue is accessibility. We are the very first company to do this in the world. So not everyone can access us. But if you went to any shop and asked for a matchstick or maybe for mineral water, you may get that anywhere in the world. So we are not easily accessible. And the issue with that is the technology is still very small. We've not scaled. There's all these scaling barriers, especially to do with working capital. And the last one is cultural barriers, which are very major. When you talk to people, they say, I want to cook matoke that has been steamed in banana leaves. The banana leaves were smoked first. The luombo was also smoked. Like there's a tradition how we've cooked, and the cooking patterns take forever to change, 80 to 100 years, even 150 years. Like if you look back from when coal was first discovered as a cooking fuel, to gas, to electricity, now we are talking solar cooking, and some Ugandan homes, yours and mine, have not yet even seen an e-cooker. Many of us are still on charcoal, to be honest. The other day, the minister told us, she still has some biomass at the back of the house. It's very normal, by the way. So those are major barriers. But how are we dealing with them? We thrive on partnerships. We work with the government to let them know the solution we offer. We work with the church to let the masses know, or the people who go to these houses to pray, to let them know the solutions we have. We work with humanitarian organizations, several of them. We work with students and community leaders. And beyond that, we also do a lot of advocacy. We have talked and talked and talked about the evils of cooking dirty. The other day, one of my colleagues shared with me a photo of a woman cooking with a heap of plastic bottles. And I've put this on LinkedIn, and she's cooking food, and it's coming from plastic bottle fuel. Yeah, it's so bad. But the other picture I like to show is your grandmother's kitchen back home. If you're very privileged, I'm sure there's only a few, maybe they're upstairs. But the ones down here, we all saw our grandmother's kitchens. They were black. That was their lungs. That's probably part of your lungs. So we have a lot of barriers, but knowledge still remains the very key barrier. And as I said, partnerships, it's talking every day, showing people the solution. If you happen to pass by that side, please look out for the ECOCA team. You'll see Emilia and Charlotte. Let them show you how this works so that you can take something new back home and transition, hopefully.
Thank you so much, Ruth. That is a wonderful way to actually conclude our panel discussion. And thank you so much, David, for what you've shared with us. I think all the panelists spoke about one thing very passionately. Partnerships. Partnerships are very important, and it's events such as the Green Zone that actually bringing these partnerships together. But not only just an opportunity for you to taste the Banange beer and also, to mingle, we want to use the youth as change agents. So in our message regarding clean cooking, the message is we have clean solutions in the country that are locally produced, locally designed, locally manufactured, locally assembled in the country. These are opportunities for employment for the youth. You can serve as change agents to your family. Even the restaurant that you buy your food from, do you ever stop to ask them how that food was prepared? Most likely it was made on charcoal, while at home you're having gas. So be the change agents, be the change that you want to see. We hope that we can work with the youth to promote the message on clean cooking as an opportunity for improved health, improved energy access, and improved livelihood. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. And I'd like to thank our panelists for this wonderful discussion, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And I guess my last message is just to talk about how the government is working with platforms such as this, the youth, and other, and also the private sector and associations. We are working with the private sector to promote clean cooking solutions, to promote productive uses of energy, and to create awareness about the opportunities around this. So as the government of Uganda, we are working to address the bottlenecks on accessing clean energy. If it's access to finance, we are promoting solutions through our Uganda Energy Capitalization Company to provide upfront financing to the private sector, but also to the public. We are also working to raise awareness through events such as this. We are also working to ensure that the products that you have on the market are of the highest quality. So in addition to developing standards, we are educating the public about it and working with the private sector to ensure that we have the best of quality on the market. But most importantly, we are working with the youth to ensure that this is a form of employment for you. And as you can see, all the panelists that sat here, we are young people just like you. So my message is, please adopt this as a clean technology, but also look at it as a form of employment. Thank you so much.